Hello, this is Ricky Rod, Engage Gwen.
How's it going, everybody?
And we are throwing bombs today. Welcome to our weekly NFL podcast, where we discuss all things NFL from a fan perspective. We're not big fans of the national media, and boy, I was listening to some national media people today, and I wanted to call them and yell at them, but I thought better. I thought better of myself. But anyway,
just talk about it on the podcast.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to air out my opinions right now. But so as of what time is it right now? We're recording at 5:04. It's 5:04 p.m. Okay, Tuesday the 13th. And just over an hour ago was the deadline for Le'Veon Bell to sign his tender, and he did not sign. He's done for the year.
Is anyone surprised, though,
This is historical, though, Gage. This is the first time. I looked it up today. The last time a player even tried to do this was a defensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers. He ended up getting traded to he ended up signing his tender, and he got traded to the Redskins. Sean, I can't remember his last name, but it was a defensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers, and he ended up and he signed a huge deal. With that at the time the Skins were taking everybody,
right?
I can't remember his last name. I think his first name was Sean. Regardless, this is historical, right? This is a big deal. No NFL player has ever done this before. And the perspective I heard today, I literally it just made me sick to my stomach. It was Pat Kerwin on Sirius Satellite. Pat Kerwin used to be a GM in the league. He's basically been a media shill for the last bunch of years. His perspective on so many things is so off, and I understand. I respect where he comes from, what he thinks a GM's thinking right now, right? Mm-hmm. But he's one of those guys that is very pro. He's anti-player. He's pro-club, anti-player.
That's always the worst.
and it's the worst because he basically said, well, what is Le'Veon going to have to make next year to recoup what he lost? And that's the totally wrong approach. That's not even... It's so wrong to even say that because from the start, it was nothing. It had nothing to do with him recouping his money for this year, next year. He wanted $16 million a year.
Right.
And they would not give him $16 million a year. Period. He said he would rather retire than sign another tender. And guess what he's doing? He's not going to play.
He's doing the Carson Palmer kind of.
So the idea of him, he's going to, Pat Kerwin was like, well, what is he going to have to make next year to recoup his money? Pat, I don't know if you've read any of the quotes or anything Le'Veon has said. It has zero to do with recouping.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about making his money back. He's not going to play for less than $16 million for the Steelers. Period. And then Pat goes, no joke. He goes, there's a lot of whispers going around the league that Le'Veon just had its success because of the O-line, the team that's built around him. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, you are complete garbage. Like, to even say that, first of all, sounds made up, number one.
Who thinks that way?
Yeah, he didn't. That tells you how negative, though, the media and that narrative is. It's a very tired narrative.
Yeah.
And now, if you're a Steelers fan and you're upset at Le'Veon Bell, I totally understand. I totally get it. But let me tell you something. James Conner is working at a much less price, and you're getting possibly better production because of the style offense they're able to run with the way James Conner runs. I don't think James Conner is going to be able to stay as healthy as Le'Veon has, and Le'Veon hasn't been his health hasn't been perfect either.
No.
But the bottom line is Le'Veon will not work for anything less than $60 million. He's going to go get it next year. He doesn't care where he plays. I'm sure he'll be able to pick it out at least. But the bottom line is, legally, there is no contract. They offer him the contract, right? And all he has to do is say yes or no and sign it. Right? He's not leaving his teammates. He didn't leave his teammates dry. There was no contract. None. Zero. There was no agreement. This isn't like a dude holding out. This isn't what, who did this? Atlanta wide receiver, Julio Jones, pitched a fit about his salary last year. Threatened to hold out. Took down Atlanta Falcons stuff on his Twitter. They threw him a little money, right?
Yeah.
And everything's good, right?
Like I said earlier, this reminds me of like the Carson Palmer thing, where like back when he played with the Bengals, and he's like, "Trade me or I retire. Yeah. I'm going to retire if you do not trade me. So just get some value out of me, or else you're gonna get nothing out of me."
Yeah, and
it's like Le'Veon.
But it wasn't like Le'Veon. This is another perspective. I'm so tired of seeing him leaving his teammates high and dry. There was no contract.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it reminds me of, but it's not the same thing, obviously. But like, just from an outside view, not knowing much about the situation, they're like, "What the crap? Why is he gonna just leave his teammates?"
It's just it's a narrative that if
when
you
get
read
tagged
that
for 3 years in a row,
yeah, that's like your boss telling you, "Hey, we're going to give you the same salary we've given you for the last 3 years. Your performance has been great. It's been awesome.
You're doing more than ever, but we're still going to give you the same thing."
That's it. And guess what? The risk of you getting hurt and not being able to do your job permanently for the rest of your life is very high.
Yeah.
So, hey, NFL running backs, look at David Johnson.
Oh, my
Incredible year.
Man.
Gets hurt last year and has fallen off of a cliff. Now, I'm going to say a lot of that has to do with the offensive system. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And look, you have an incredible player just sitting there on an awful team.
He just this last week got actually utilized for the first time this year.
Yeah. You go.
He caught passes and he ran the ball.
Yeah. Offensive system. He's at the mercy of it's just awful.
When he broke
coach.
out. Yeah, when he broke out, he reminded me of Le'Veon Bell, like, to the T.
Well, he's probably going to be on another team, and he's going to help.
I hope so,
and I hope he goes to a contender, man. Like I hope he really does. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Le'Veon Bell. Good for him. I think legally, you know what the other legal hurdle right now is? The rumor is if they tag him again, they have to pay him quarterback money.
Yeah,
can you imagine quarterback money?
The tag was up to $14.5 million, and he wants $16 million. Just give him the extra 1.5.
It's crazy, man.
Don't leave him hanging.
This is going to ultimately look bad on the Steelers in the long run.
That just makes people not want to sign there.
Well, yeah, and you know what? They're not a team that goes out and gets a lot of top tier free agents anyway. No. Actually, the years of teams going to get top tier free agents are almost over because of the way the bargaining agreement is now. There's just very few top tier guys.
There's about 5 guys per year that really are like major signees.
And everything else is just Patriots get the scraps.
You honestly get more trades than signs.
Yes,
nowadays.
And because the value is better.
Yeah,
the value is better for the teams and the
draft
teams
picks to send back in homegrown talent.
The idea that the teams are structured to a salary cap is a joke. It's a complete joke. A team can make room for anything. I don't care. They say dead money. There's dead money. They don't care. They can carry that dead money year over year over year over year. It's hypothetical. It is funny money. There is a limit. Just because these are billionaires that own these clubs and that would go crazy and it would create an incredible crazy system. But for the most part, the idea of teams and salary caps are sort of a joke. So, all right, let's move on. This was a great week. Listen, the impossible happened this week, Gage. Nathan Peterman
got cut.
The dude we love to make fun of and hate on. The worst quarterback in modern history.
The worst quarterback in history.
Yeah, he is awful. and it took the Bills how long?
It took them a season and a half to cut him.
Halfway through the 2018 season, they're like, oh, wait a second.
Hey, Matt Barkley's pretty good.
Wow, Matt Barkley, who hasn't played in 2 years, right? Comes in throwing darts.
Let's just keep him.
Now, granted, the Jets are. I think that's it for the coach. I hate that because I like the coach, but I'm surprised they didn't fire him already. But he's pretty much done at the end of the season, and that's gonna be an interesting rebuild there. What they plan to do, but good for the Bills. They scored a lot of points. Shady McCoy got running he ran I think for about 110, 120 yards. Mm-hmm. I mean, these teams with these amazing running backs like Dallas ran the ball. They got Zeke going.
The theme of this week, running the ball.
Zeke gets going, and they beat the Eagles. And good for them. I tell you what, though, that Cowboys defense is turning into something crazy with that Jalen Smith.
Jalen
Smith, right? Is that his name?
I think so. Yeah,
it's crazy.
And then Leighton Vander Esch, the rookie.
Yeah,
that dude's nasty.
Yeah, he is. So it's that team, and it's very young too on defense. So interesting things. I don't know what they're going to do there. It's hard to tell with Jerry Jones and about the ownership. There were rumors they were going to fire the OC. The bottom line, have you listened to Jason Witten call a game yet? Okay, he's no Tony Romo.
That is awful, dude.
Yeah, he's no Tony Romo.
You have Tony Romo out here like literally predicting plays.
Tony Romo's incredible.
He's gonna break it left for an 8-yard gain. They're gonna get him, and he does it like 5 times in a game.
Yeah, Tony Romo's incredible.
And Jason Witten's like, "Oh, my grandma used to tell me back," and as they're running a play, and they're like, "Jason, stop talking. The play's going on."
Jason Witten is not excelling at his job. Okay, however, he did say something while I was watching him call the game, and he was talking about Dak, the way the offense system changed with Dak.
Well, when he's talking about the Cowboys, it's reasonable, but any other team,
everything else is really bad.
Please,
everything's really bad. But he did bring on some things. But anyway, good for them. The normal stuff happens. Saints put up 50 burger on the Bengals. Bengals fired their offense or defensive coordinator. And listen to this,
the Bungles.
Guess who they hired today?
Hugh Jackson, baby.
Our boy. That's our boy, Hugh Jackson. Hugh, crazy Hugh. Where's Todd Haley going to go? That's my question.
Nowhere.
No, I think he'll get
somewhere eventually, but like right now they're like, no one's going to need an offensive
coordinator.
All right,
let's hit the games real fast.
Side note, did you know the NFL moved the Rams-Chiefs from Mexico City to
that just got
LA?
Announced. Yeah, did you see? I saw the satellite photos of the field.
Yeah.
It's awful. So no wonder. So they did move it to the West Coast.
Yep.
Prayers for our families in the West Coast. And the wildfires. That's bad stuff, man. That's been awful. So hopefully, the air quality is not great over there, and they're playing games. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't moved it. So,
yeah, moving it from Mexico to LA is like the same.
Yeah, well, at least that nobody will break no crazy injuries. All right, come on. Yeah. Let's review the games and then do our predictions.
Alrighty, we'll run through real quick. Panthers losing the Steelers by a lot.
Oh my God!
Panthers fans were like, "Woo, we got a touchdown!"
For five. Yeah, that game
it was a game for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and when the tide turned, that's one of those games that you just want to pull your starters out of the game and just leave. Like you just don't. Like it just wasn't going to end well. They just took over. So, hey, good for the Steelers. Show me something when you can beat the Patriots. All right, next game.
Lions losing to the Bears. Bears are for real.
The Bears are for real. That's been established.
Saints winning against the Bengals by 50.
We briefly touched on that. The Saints are incredible.
John Bechelon, have to shout that man out. Yeah. John, if you're listening to this, let's just say your shout-outs are automatic till we get to the playoffs. Then maybe it won't be so automatic.
Yeah.
But for right now.
So who do the Saints? Don't the Saints have a big game this week?
They play the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a big game. So all
maybe
right.
you won't get a shout-out next week.
Yeah.
Next,
I thought the Chiefs were playing the Rams.
Is that so?
I can't remember. We'll find it.
We'll find out in the predictions. Next, the Browns beating the Falcons.
Wow.
Baker did not miss a pass for 13 attempts.
Is this the second game Greg Williams has coached or the first? I can't remember. I think it's the second.
Yeah, it is the second.
It's the second game. Chubb, the running back.
Then he got that 92-yard run. Ooh.
He went off. He broke a franchise record. Baker looked good. The team looked good. You know, I don't think Greg Williams should be a head coach in the league, but say like they win the last 4 games, right? That's pretty incredible. So
He'd get promoted probably.
I think he would. I still don't think he should be the head coach, but all right.
Next game, my streaking Colts winning 4 in a
Wow.
row. Woo!
And that was a close one. That was a close game.
What have I been telling you?
Yeah, that was a
Andrew
close
Luck
game. Yeah.
is showing people, hey, I'm still good,
Well,
and don't doubt me anymore.
they're I'm picking them this week. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know.
All right, Chiefs beating the Cardinals. That was closer than it needed to be.
Yeah, they. I read some quotes where Travis Kelce said the coaches yelled at him. Like, I mean, really, the game got out of hand in the fourth quarter. They just took it over in the fourth quarter, and I think the Chiefs are used to taking over games in like the first 3 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
So whatever. Pat Mahomes threw. He broke Len Dawson's quarterback touchdown record.
Yep.
Throw the most amount of touchdowns in a year, and he's going to break a bunch more.
Yep.
So.
All right, next, Bills dismantling the Jets. We talked about that. Redskins beating the Bucks.
Well, I mean, it's the Skins, bro. Like,
the Bucks couldn't get anything wrong.
The Skins are headed the right direction, considering the injuries they've had. They're doing good.
Yep.
Good
Next,
for them.
The surprise of the week: the Titans beating the Patriots by 24. I watched that game.
Me too.
They looked ridiculous.
Listen, Brady, I'm telling you,
Mike Vrabel.
This started a game back. I saw a few little wobbly ducks.
Yep.
You know, these little wobbly passes that started plaguing Peyton Manning the last couple of years.
But to be like, oh, Brady's retired. Those people are stupid right now.
Oh no!
He's still got
better.
two more years.
Yeah, he's still better. I'm starting to see
You're starting
things
to see the inconsistencies happen.
Where what they got played, they played defense correctly. They had him guessing, right? Like, which is what you have to do to Tom Brady, and you have to hit him. They did both things. Mariota can show up and just dominate you. Then next week, throw like 4 picks.
Who are you?
Yeah. So it's crazy, but good for the Titans. I like Vrabel. Did you see? Is it Dion?
Dion Lewis was like, that was personal for me.
He was like, mind my language, but he was just like, if you're a cheap ass team, you deserve to lose. And I was like, my God.
It's true. I mean, he was like their best back, and they released him. Like, they didn't even care.
Yeah.
And he came and
good for
it.
them, man. Good for them. But they need to make the playoffs.
Next, the surging Chargers beating the Oakland Raiders. Chargers are
not a surprise.
Ridiculous this year.
I think Jordy Nelson's going to retire. I think he's done.
I would if I signed to a team that I thought was going to be decent, and then like they get John Gruden, you're like, oh.
Well, the Giants won last night, so I'm pretty sure the Raiders just locked in the number 1 draft pick. So
they did.
Yeah,
John Gruden's scheming it up there.
Oh yeah. So
trade away best players, get number 1 draft pick, start over again.
That's what they're doing.
Next, Packers destroying the Dolphins.
Man, oh man!
Kind of see that coming.
It was a game until the third quarter.
Your team just lost steam.
Oh well, I mean, offensively, we actually moved the ball all over the field. Could not get touchdowns. Frank Gore played great. What we are watching is an average team. I did not think they were going to win. I still think we'll end up 8-8 for the year, unless something horribly goes south. I think Gase will continue as the coach. The last 4 teams fighting for that playoff position, unless Tannehill comes back. Supposedly, Tannehill started throwing today. He has a capsule injury in his shoulder is what it's called, capsule. Yeah. So they said if he can throw for the next 2 weeks, he's going to be back starting. If he can kickstart them and they can win, great. As of right now, of the teams fighting for the playoff spots, it hurts me to say they're at the bottom of that list right now.
Sure are.
Yeah, it's just, dude, we lost, listen to this, Hakeem Grant out.
Yeah.
Devontae Parker out. O-line, our entire O-line. Left tackle out. Tunsil was out.
Yep.
James, right tackle, out.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
What are you supposed to do?
What are you
with
going to
that?
do? What are you
Yeah.
going to... You can't fire Gase unless they lose every game the rest of the season. I just don't see them making major changes.
Yeah. I want to touch on my team for a second because
There are some rumors coming out. I read one today.
Flacco got injured in that Pittsburgh game. If you watched, he
Yeah.
took a tackle in the first quarter, and he injured his hip, and it's a pretty serious hip injury. And they think Lamar is going to start.
They said that they also said that, because there's already could be teams looking for coaches. It's already happened.
Yeah.
Like they've already made their top 3 list.
And Harbaugh and the Ravens are like going to mutually agree to part ways.
It's done. It's
Yep.
done.
It's sad.
So,
it's
but
done.
the rumor is he's gonna wherever he's going, he's gonna have GM control.
Yeah.
That's the rumor. So I don't know where he goes, but there's gonna be some changes there. Who do you want as a coach, Gage? Like who?
I don't know,
Is there
dude.
somebody on the staff? Is there like?
Man, they could go out and promote Marty. They could,
But
go
their
pick up
their
someone.
MO is their MO. They don't really have an MO as an organization other than great defense. I've always felt like they've
Great
always had
defense,
great defense.
smash mouth run
But,
game.
like,
but
Quarterback wise, they went and got Flacco. They got Harbaugh, and then they sort of joined them at the hip. And I wonder if they're going to try that again. I wonder if they're going to go.
I hope so.
They're just going to let Jackson be the guy, and find a coach.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not worried at this point. Like,
Yeah, still got to finish the season.
Yeah, so
it's not over
we
yet.
still statistically have a chance.
But I think
to get the
Harbaugh
playoffs.
is done. I do think Harbaugh is done.
Oh yeah, unless there's like some miracle turnaround. But even so, I think he's done regardless.
Yeah, I got you. All right, what
All
we
right,
got?
next, Seahawks barely losing to the Rams. I picked that for
Well-
Seahawks to win, and I almost got that right.
So I watched some of that game, and this is where, where teams stack like these Pro Bowl players, right? Mm-hmm. That D line has Sue and Aaron Donald, right? And in
Right.
the second half of that game, Sue and Aaron Donald took that game over. Mm-hmm. They may only do that 2 more games this year, right? So a handful of games this season, that may happen. But you know what? It got them the win.
Right.
They killed Russell Wilson, man.
Oh, I know.
And his last play, he should have made that pass, by the way, for that first down.
I know.
But he got brutalized in that second half. Sue destroyed that center the whole game. Like, he just destroyed him. So,
Yeah, Russell Wilson's just a one-man show. We touch on that every week.
yeah,
but,
I know. So, but anyway, you got these teams that stack up. The Rams are stacked, man. They really are.
Yeah.
Really are stacked. All right, what do we got?
Next, the Cowboys beating the Eagles. Blah.
Yeah, well, the Eagles are hot garbage. And
Carson Wentz is not hot garbage, but
Dallas is still in the fight for the division.
so are the Eagles though.
Yeah, no, man. They had their chance. It's not looking good.
All right, next, Giants narrowly beating the Nick Mullins-led
The
49ers.
battle of the doo-doo teams.
Battle of mediocrity.
I did see. Did you see that video of OBJ and Goodwin before the game?
Oh yeah,
With Goodwin has a sister in a wheelchair.
yeah.
And that was one of the coolest things to see. Between two players from different teams. It was cool. OBJ showed out yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Good for Eli. They're not a great team though, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I think Eli being on that team is over too.
Oh yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of changes next year.
True. You know what? Let's go ahead and pick this week's picks.
Let's do it.
First off, the Thursday night game, the Packers at the Seahawks.
I picked the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks.
Oh.
I think, I don't think the Packers are not that good. They're just not.
Oh, they're not that good. I know, but
No, sorry, Kevin.
I'm picking Pack. Next, Dallas at Atlanta.
Ooh.
I'm picking Dallas.
I picked Falcons.
Bengals at Ravens. Oh gosh, I have to pick my team, but I would advise you to pick the Bengals. Honestly,
I picked.
you pick my team, you might be a little crazy because who knows who's playing quarterback.
Well, this is crazy, but I think I picked the Ravens.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean
picked
we
the
are
Ravens.
at home, so
And the reason is, well, that may change before. So I don't see this changing. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Panthers at Lions. I pick Panthers.
I pick Panthers.
Titans at Colts. I'm picking Colts, dude.
I picked the Colts.
They are surging right now, baby. Let's go.
Well, did you see the statistic where Luck wasn't sacked for like 3 or 4 games?
Their offensive line's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, like I don't know what Frank Reich took a team that the roster last year was awful. Granted, they had the backup quarterback.
Jacoby!
Yeah, playing.
Hey,
but
he was good, though.
Yeah, he was. He was good. He was one of the bright spots last year.
Uh-huh.
But, man, it's great, man. It's great.
Love it. All right, Bucks at Giants. Picking Bucks.
Yes, I picked Bucks.
Texans at Washington. Ooh.
I picked the Redskins. Yeah. I picked the Redskins because they're the home team. Yeah.
Steelers at Jaguars. Steelers.
I picked Steelers.
Oakland at Arizona.
I picked Arizona.
Yeah. Broncos at Chargers.
Chargers. Yep.
Eagles at Saints. Vikings at Bears. I'm picking Vikings.
That's a tough game, but I picked the Bears just because it's home field.
Yeah.
Trubisky has learned to use his legs.
Yep.
I was just looking at some of his highlights on YouTube recently, and the difference is this year, he's being a lot smarter. He's obviously being coached. But when he sees the lane for the first down, he just takes it.
Right.
And he's kept the ball moving for that team. That team has they can run the ball. Mm-hmm. They can really run the ball. They have talent on that team. And I think Khalil Mack just made that defense even better.
Right. All right, last game, Chiefs at Rams.
I picked the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Did you pick the Chiefs?
I sure did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Rams, Goff, Goff is good. He's not Mahomes.
No.
And they're not as explosive. They're a different type of team.
They're not as dynamic.
No, they're a different type of team. And the Rams are great, man. I mean, obviously their record is great, but the Chiefs are so much better to watch.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, what's the flashiest vehicle you can own? They're that flashy vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And then, the Rams are just like that really classy Mercedes. There's nothing too much going on. It's just they're just
quality vehicle.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're like the expensive Toyota right now. And they're great. They're great. I'm not saying, but when you compare offenses, it's just the Chiefs are going to be more dynamic.
One is steamrolling right now.
And their defense is coming together,
yep.
I think. I think their defense is starting to show up because the offense is slowing down a hair.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are scheming now. They're a couple of games, they're putting up like 20 burgers instead of the 40.
Yeah.
But man, this league, I have never seen so many games with 50-plus points.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous.
The Tampa Bay Bucks had 500 yards of offense and 6 points or something.
3 points.
Okay, 3 points.
How does that happen?
Because the NFL the officiating has screwed up the defense and offensive balance in this league. I don't know if there is no better time to be a quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
Bottom line. You've got 45-year-old dudes destroying right now. It does not stop. It's unbelievable. 10 years ago, this would have never happened. Yeah. No way. There's no way. Maybe Brady because he just doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
But everybody else would have been clobbered. And even Brady, maybe even 10 years ago, if he were a little older, in the league, even then, because Manning got hit and his body just got him, right?
Yeah.
Like his body got him. Like when you started hearing of the neck issues, back issues, Tony Romo with his back, that's the kiss of death in the NFL. When you start hearing of players with those kinds of injuries, So, I just can't believe the amount of points being scored in the league. I'm not loving it right now. I've never been I've always preferred a more balanced game. So we'll see what happens. But, to wrap, we can go ahead and start wrapping this up. But, to wrap it up real quick, we're going into week 11. This is where things really, really matter now.
Woo!
So, and teams, the good teams are going to do fine. There may be a few upsets, right?
I think so.
The Saints may drop one, but to be honest,
I think it's pretty shaped right now.
I think they've locked in their playoff spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got our top tier teams pretty locked in. But if you're a top tier team, the most important thing,
getting that
home field.
Yep.
Got to get that home
first
field.
round bye. Woo.
And this year, if the Patriots cannot get that,
they might be in trouble.
They may struggle.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a run game yet. Right. They don't really have a run game to speak of. They make it. They create it. They try to get fancy with it, but they got called out by that Texas defense. Of course, it was Vrabel. They know
Titans defense.
Oh, sorry, Titans defense. But Vrabel knew. I've noticed this year. Matt Patricia did the same thing. They sort of tore apart the Patriots, and it sucks, man. Like with the Patriots losing, the Dolphins couldn't get a win. We can't make any inroad.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was just this would have been the perfect week to steal one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, keep your heads up if your team is not doing great. It's the NFL season. Lots of things can change. I'm trying to think if there's any more big news that's going to happen. I think I don't foresee anything scary. I think coaches. You don't see any coaches getting fired, right?
Nah.
Right now, me neither. So I think we're going to be good to go. I think as far as the coaches and what you got is what you got. But I'm hoping. Who do my Fins have? Are they off? I think they're on a bye week.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's going to be tough. Oh, hey, how do you watch your games? You don't use the Sunday Ticket, do you?
No, I use that Reddit thing.
Oh, you mean the Reddit site that we don't talk about?
Yeah, I don't use it. I just know people that use it.
We don't Google Reddit. And
we don't
do
Reddit
any of that.
r/.
We don't do any of that. We don't do that. But I was... I've noticed that some of the feeds have been down this year.
Yeah.
And it turns out the Sunday Ticket was totally down multiple times this year.
Are they losing money or something?
Well, it was on DirecTV's end. So the rumor is the NFL is going to pull it from DirecTV and they're going to purely go app-based.
Ooh.
That's the rumor. I used to pay for it. It used to only be like a couple of $100 a year. Like I always just said, okay, it's like a birthday gift to myself.
Yep.
And then I got so frustrated with the Fins and how they were being managed. I was like, okay, I am not going to waste this money anymore.
I'm going to go watch them somewhere else. Wink, wink.
Yeah. First of all, Sundays are tough for me to get home and enough time to even enjoy all the games. Like now, of course, nowadays you got your phones and you can always stay in touch with the game. But I've just noticed there's been a lot of issues with that. Streaming sucks. Streaming is still not a great science. But anyway, everybody have a good week. Thank you so much for listening and supporting us. We have... make sure to visit us at bombhousepodcast.com. We do have our weekly picks, which I totally forgot about like the last 2 weeks, so I'm back on that.
Yeah, go do that.
I gotta make sure to do that. Don't do what I did. I had this month has been the craziest month.
Hence the short episode today.
Yeah, I just got back from a conference, had to play a conference. And yesterday, I had one goal yesterday, Gage, and that was to download Red Dead 2.
Amen.
And nobody told me that game was 90 gigs.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
92 gigabytes.
And it's going to be bigger when the multiplayer comes out, too.
92 gigabytes, Gage.
So your mission of playing it didn't really happen, did it?
Oh, no. Because I have two systems, right?
Yeah.
I have two systems that I'll use. Like, I got one like in a game room and one in another area of the house. And depending on what I'm doing, I can use them both. But yesterday, I was going over all the football games. I was like, you know what? I'll get Red Dead 2, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw the size of the download. I was like, 4 hours. Like, I have great internet, right?
Yeah.
Like, my internet's actually really good.
Yeah, like 200 megs.
Yes,
like that.
I have 200 megs. And I was like 5 hours. What? Like I was freaking out. So I jumped into Spider-Man, ran a few story missions, and then I realized I was like, this is going to take forever. But I did watch some of the game last night, and it was good. It was good. I love Eli because he's destroyed Belichick every time in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, I don't know, maybe he can go be the backup he may end up being on that team as a backup. It wouldn't surprise me.
That'd be
Belichick
crazy.
does crazy stuff like that.
That would be crazy.
So anyway, everybody have a good week. Again, hit us up on bombhousepodcast.com. Make sure to hit a rating, please. Give us a good rating. And then also, I have been in touch with a few guests.
I also have
for our football podcast. We've got a few friends over the holidays that are going to be in town. I'm excited about having them in town. And I also reached out to a few other people in our community. So probably towards the playoff time during Christmas break. Our Christmas break won't stop. We will not take a break. If there's football.
There is football that we talked about. We will be talking.
So if you're bored over the holidays, you will have a podcast to listen to. But this is Ricky Rod.
This is Gage Gwynn.
Peace
out.
Yep.
See you guys.
You guys have a good one.
Confidence, stripping finesse, hitting notes and falsetto. We love tacos, so let Ricky do his thing pronto. Finish the session today, he gon' hit you with the mix tomorrow. Produce, record, mix, master it. Sounding so dope that it gets your past a lit. Hit after hit after hit after hit, hit after hit. Lickety split. What's that smell? Apple cinnamon, ready made big. Got it from Jimmy Jam. Grab the pen again. Let me hear it back again. Let me hear it back again.